So let's focus on you today, Capitola, and the journey that you went through until and successful journey so far, and I hope that it will continue this way. If you don't mind, give us a little bit of background about yourself and your company.
Absolutely. So I started my career as a software engineer, close to a decade. I've worked with various tech companies. It just kind of built that on when I was very young. I was really lucky when kind of the technological revolution started in the 80s. So after close to a decade as a software engineer, decided that I was really drawn to the business side of technology, decided to kind of shift my view on the industry. Came to the US about 11 years ago to get my MBA, and moved to the West Coast right after, went back into the industry. And I played part with various tech companies, always around digital transformation. My personal story, my common thread has always been how can we marry frontier technology with human capabilities to drive business outcomes. That was kind of my passion. 2 years ago, I decided to start my own company. It was kind of a dream of mine, a goal. And I wasn't really biased as to what industry that would be. I was really fortunate to have seen multiple traditional industries in the past 10 years, between automotive and aerospace and supply chain manufacturing. So it wasn't really about a certain bias towards an industry. It was more so to find a problem, a pain point, a challenge that I had conviction around in a large growing market where I felt technology can really play a pivotal part in solving. Uh, I got to the insurance space again through my brother, who started at Bay. They've enjoyed high growth, big success, and kind of picking his brain and just getting some thoughts on the existing opportunities and challenges that exist in commercial insurance space. I got connected with dozens of brokers and underwriters, and I got to experience the world through their eyes. And after several months of really looking at the various opportunities, decided to focus on the segment of middle market where you have humans
Mm-hmm.
in the transaction by definition. Unlike small commercial, where you can see lots of companies trying to automate and disintermediate with various models, with technologies. In middle market, you need the people in between. You need the agents and brokers to represent the insured. You need the underwriter to do the actual actuarial work. Um, and what we've noticed, what we've seen, myself and my partners, I have two phenomenal co-founders. Amit Benatan came in from Google. Noel Rosenberg, he's back in Israel leading our R&D team, came in from Optibus. What we've seen is that the tools that these insurance professionals have uh, are lacking. You see people who spend decades in the industry, but the tools that they use have been built, even before that. And we felt like there's a big opportunity to equip them with technological tools that would empower them to do more. So the more we spend time with brokers and underwriters trying to figure out how to build the tools that would help them broker better, transact better with markets, we found that not only that there's inefficiency in the placement process, but also there's an opportunity to bring efficiency to the marketplace. Basically, better connect buyers and sellers of mid-market commercial insurance through just a data-driven risk appetite modeling. The way that risk
Mm-hmm.
appetite is communicated is just very manual. It happens in meetings, happens in conferences, happens through emails. But there wasn't really, until Capitola, a data-driven approach to make smart market recommendations where agents and brokers should go with every type of risk. So that's the vision for Capitola. We really strive to better connect the market. We define ourselves as a smart digital marketplace for mid-sized commercial insurance. We also have smaller placements to help really kind of be useful with agents and brokers' entire book of business. But the focus is the value that we bring is to middle market. And we try to better connect to those two sides, right? Agents and brokers on one side who represent the buyers, and underwriters within carriers and MGAs who represent sellers. We started, as you said, in 2021, raised capital at our seed round from Lightspeed Ventures. About 6 months ago, raised our Series A from Unique Ventures and other funds, and really have had phenomenal 2 years of growth, of just onboarding various brokerages, various markets to our platform, and just discovered a phenomenal industry of talented, experienced people who really strive to work better.
Great. So first of all, thank you very much. You provided a lot of information about Capitola and you sprinkled that all over the place. So what exactly is Capitola? Are you a SaaS provider? Are you an MGA? Because what you mentioned earlier sounded to me at the beginning like one of the first exit as Kodiak, that the only thing that they were doing was to provide the risk appetite. And back in my startup, that was like a small feature within a bigger platform. So what is the focus and who is using you? You mentioned brokers, and how do they use your product?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're not an MGA. We're a software company. We've built essentially what you can think of as a placement management system, right? We do not replace the agency management system. We work in tandem with it. We build hooks into it so we can take information out of the agency management system, specifically the carrier database, an entire book of business for any particular set of users that use Capitola. So brokers, account managers, when they log into Capitola, they see their entire book of business already ready for placement, ready to go to markets. And we do that by integrating into existing agency management system like Applied Epic, Vertafore, and some of the newer generations of kind of the Salesforce-based agency management system. We, by all means, don't replace, but integrate into. But essentially, account managers and brokers, when they have new business or they have renewals, they log into Capitola, and we help them streamline the entire flow of the placement, from getting all the documents together, the application, the loss runs, the expiring policies. We help them select markets. This is where our risk appetite model comes into play. We're making recommendations what markets they should go to. They can choose, obviously, their own markets, but we also add to that. We complement by making smart recommendations based on data. And then the entire back and forth with the markets, we help facilitate in a much better way than working out of Outlook. When the placement is ready to be presented, we have our own proposal tool. In a single click of a button, producers or brokers can create proposals that would go out to the insured. And then we feed all that information back into the agency management system so that the client can be billed, it can be invoiced. So the focus here is to take away all the manual entry, all of the overhead, all the tasks that you don't really need insurance knowledge and expertise to do, and do that automatically with our technology, and then really make sure that brokers and account managers, the entire production team, focuses on what they do best, the human element of insurance, which is building your book, serving your clients, negotiating with markets, making recommendations, providing thoughtful insights, risk-related insights, and expertise to the insured. And all that, I believe, will never be taken away by technology. Technology is, best serves as a tool that takes away the overhead and manual entry and repetitive tasks.
Listen, I'm pro-agent, so there was a point that we all, oh my God, insurance is going to disintermediate the industry, blah, blah, blah. And I love the fact that you come with clear view of technology is a tool. It's a tool for its user to make them, in this case, the brokers and agents, and to make them do their job better. I love that fact. And it's not about, let's remove the agents. I would even add more that when you talked about you're working with the AMSs, and not against them or coming to replace them, I'll see the opportunity here maybe later on down the road, and this is what founders hate to hear from investors, like, hey, this is what you should actually do. It's looking into the digital wholesaler space, and that's something that I talked with one of my last guests, Will Chambers from Appalachian Underwriter, that piece of a function in the industry has a lot to re-innovate. There is such a
So
need for the wholesaler to take the next step.
absolutely. And so I'll let you know that we are, in fact, also a digital wholesaler. So what does
Oh,
that
look
mean?
at me.
It means when brokers and account managers, when they use our placement management system, the recommendations that we make are from within their existing direct appointments, but also where we find a capacity provider that we believe can be a great provider for this specific risk, and there's no direct appointment yet between the company that uses us, this agent, this broker, and this market. We step in as the wholesaler and we provide that as a service, right? So if there's already a direct appointment, we don't get in between. We never get in between. But the vision for Capitola, the goal really is to put the best capacity at the fingertips of every broker and every agent. And to do that, it means sometimes stepping away from the direct appointments and expanding available capacity through our wholesale offering. So again, we don't put ourselves in between if there's no need, but if it does provide value by providing access to additional capacity, that we come in, we have our own wholesale operation, we file all the taxes and fees. We have the ability to place business in more than 85% of the country. And then, soon we'll expand to have access to all 51 states. So, in that, I truly see the vision for Capitola as a digital marketplace, as providing that additional value as a wholesaler, as a digital wholesaler.
So while you were doing all this fantastic stuff, there is a big trend now in the industry. I don't know if it's real or it's maybe just another buzzword, GPT. Are you dealing with that stuff? Because you mentioned utilizing AI.
We do, and I do, recognize the fact that for many people, hearing the term AI, hearing the term GPT, kind of, the flags of buzzwords and kind of marketing speech come into play. I have deep conviction that there's true opportunity to innovate through these technologies, primarily because these technologies bring phenomenal value. They have the ability to aggregate large, vast amounts of data and to distill them into insights where you deal with textual information. And the thing about the insurance industry is that it is built on textual information. It comes in applications, it comes in quotes, it comes in binders and policies, and it comes in email transactions, and lots of knowledge is there. If you were building a company in the medical space that is aimed at uh, identifying cancerous cells through imaging, say MRIs or anything else, GPT wouldn't be useful at all. It doesn't do anything with computer vision. It doesn't do anything with imaging. Specifically, where you have large, vast amounts of textual information in play, kicks in the opportunity to use a model that thrives on ingesting large amounts of textual information. So I do believe there's the opportunity to really bring value. Again, build better tools and provide better service to insureds. I want to quickly say that AI is not what you do, is how you do it, right? So for us, it's not as if we do AI. It's we're on a mission to serve the industry, to better connect the industry, to help brokers and so brokers and underwriters transact better, and at the end of the day, deliver exceptional results for insureds. And we just find AI to be a very valuable building block or building methodology to build those tools. Specifically with GPT, um, I would say it starts with data extraction, the ability, some of the things that we do with looking at the information that goes back and forth between brokers and underwriters, understanding them, categorizing the information that's coming in, and being able to feed to direct different flows through the our ability to discern, to understand what's being said. A quick example of that is when a broker reaches out to an underwriter with a certain risk and they get a declination email, something that happens all day, every day, unfortunately. In our kind of mission to better connect the industry, what we do is we extract declination reasons and we're able to make smarter recommendations the next time that a similar risk would come. And we can say to the broker, hey, last time that you reached out to this specific market with this specific risk, there was a declination due to a risk appetite comment. They don't write that sort of risk. We had an example a few weeks back when it was a property placement and the underwriter said, we don't do anything, we don't underwrite anything prior to 1946. We're able to extract that declination reason directly from the email and feed that into the recommendation engine, such that next time that a property placement prior to 1946 would come in, we would be able to tell the broker, hey, don't reach out to this specific market, or just be aware that last time they declined something due to a risk appetite or to a risk preference response. We never prevent agents to go anywhere. So if they still want to reach out, if they still want to try and influence underwriters to go ahead, they're more than welcome to. But just bringing a deeper level of insights and knowledge to the fingertips of every agent and broker.
I love it. That's such a great use case of AI in terms of going through a lot of data, disseminating the information and the insights that is coming from that. It's basically, usually it will be decision making at scale, but here it's more about compiling the information and actually providing contextual information and recommendation, so the final decision will be made by the human. I think it's a great application in that terms. And so last round you raised 16 million. Munich Re Ventures led it. There was a follow-up with the Speedlight Ventures that they led your seed round, right?
Yes, Lightspeed did lead our seed round, and then they participated in this Series A. You mentioned this before.
This is a great signal moving forward in terms of the belief in your technology and your success by your investors. Now we see a step up by a CVC, Munich Re Ventures. What's the next step? Well, are they pushing you? Do they consider you as something that will be under their as a strategic investment? What's the plan with that?
Well, I think Munich Re Ventures definitely understand the importance of technology companies playing a part in the distribution model of commercial insurance. We're their first and only, to this day, investment in the space. For us, Munich Re Ventures is just an absolute phenomenal partner, bringing carriers to the table to join our carrier network. When we think about building out our digital wholesale offering, you're as strong as your carrier network. And we find that partnership to be just phenomenally helpful in our mission to build that network, to bring more carriers in, so we can be a trusted distribution partner to them. And Munich Re Ventures is just a really interesting investor. They're the largest reinsurance company in the world. They're definitely a strategic investor, but they're not playing a part in the marketplace where we're playing. So they're not an actor by any means. They're not. We've never heard any concern the fact that Munich Re is an investor. Sometimes with strategic investors, you would hear that Munich Re is a reinsurance company. They're behind the actors, the players that are on our platform. So really, I think on both sides, it's been a a really phenomenal start to the partnership, and we're just excited to have them as a part of the journey.
Yeah, listen, I think about what they are doing in terms of investment, and they are one of the biggest CVC, and now with another fund. It's very impressive what they are doing because they are investing in companies that will help them, well, not directly Munich Re, but their customers, the MGAs, the carriers, and provide them with the services that they are missing. So I think that in terms of looking at the industry in a whole, they are doing a fantastic job in pushing venture capital into the space, and of course helping startups like yourself supporting their customers, which is
Absolutely,
it's brilliant.
couldn't
Great.
agree more.
Yeah, and we are going to see, I think that in September, early September, in the InsurTech Israel Summit in Tel Aviv, you're going to be there. And I think that a few of Munich Re is going, Dikla is going to be there for sure. I wonder if a few other folks from Munich will join us in Tel Aviv. Are you one of the speakers?
Yeah, there's a panel on AI. We're going to be talking about what we do in the GPT space. I'm excited
You cannot escape it.
we're leaning into it. I think this really is a tectonic shift in the way that technology can build just better tools for the insurance industry, for insurance professionals, and I think people are going to be as excited when they see some of the things that we're building, some of the things that other companies are building for the service of the industry. I think it's a really important moment, and we're happy to help carry the flag, not from a buzzword, not from a marketing standpoint, but really from a true value that trickles all the way down to the clients.
Okay, so just before we are wrapping up this episode, I need to give a shout out to Andrew Johnson from Gallagher Re. He featured you in his latest report that was published last week or earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
He had a few nice words to say about you.
Yeah, we're grateful for Gallagher Re to select Capitola's Series A round to be the deal of the quarter. Obviously, it's always fun for when these things get recognized. For us, really, the focus is, how does that go into the story of continuing our growth, building technology, serving a client, and all that good stuff. So, sure, huge shout out for him, for the company, for recognizing us. It's always fun, and yeah, it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, it's always a nice surprise when someone is saying, "Hey, you're doing a great job." So allow me to ask you the last question that I'm asking everyone. Can you please provide the audience a word of advice, a word of advice that you would provided yourself when you just started your career or entered the insurance industry?
I would always say, and this is true for new industries that you step into or new roles that you feel like you really need to stretch yourself. I would say surrounding yourself with the best people you can find. I had a professor in college who said, "You don't need to know the answer. You need to know who to ask." So definitely surrounding yourself with the right people. That's been my personal playbook to moving between industries, as I said before. Same story goes, with coming into the commercial insurance space. There was just a wealth of knowledge that I needed to catch up on, and I found the best way to really get excited people who buy into the vision, to be involved in the journey, and that would be in every point in my career. That's been the difference maker, is getting, surrounding myself with people who care, who are trying to help me to be better and to grow as a professional and as a person. So I would say by far that's the biggest success factor for me.
Now allow me to extend what you just said, and something that we learned from ChatGPT. You also need to learn how to ask the questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Sivan, thank you very, very much for your time today. And previously, because we've been talking, I think that we've been talking and trying to arrange this episode since May, if not April.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
very happy that finally we managed to make it happen. and I'll see you the first week of September in
soon.
Israel. Sure.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun. Thanks a lot.